welcome to Season 7 of the Eccles Business Buzz podcast. I'm your host, Frances Johnson, and I'm so glad to have you back. We have a really great season lined up, and I'm excited to share these informative and insightful conversations with you. We'll be talking to some of this year's informed decision makers about how individuals, companies, and other types of organizations can make an impact on our economy and state. And we'll be delving into the world of artificial intelligence, exploring the impact of AI across industries and jobs. And to kick it all off, today I'm so pleased to be joined by Dirks, the new dean of the David Eccles School of Business. Dean Dirks started his role on July 1st, 2024. Prior to joining us here at the Eccles School, Dean Dirks was the Bank of America Professor of Leadership at the Olin Business School at Washington University in St. Louis. In addition to serving as a faculty member, Dean Dirks served in multiple senior leadership roles at WashU, including as acting provost, senior advisor to the Chancellor for Leadership, vice chancellor of international affairs, and as a senior associate dean and interim dean at the business school. A first-generation college student, Dean Dirks earned bachelor's and master's degrees from Iowa State University and a PhD from the University of Minnesota. Dean Dirks, thank you for joining me here today.
So great to be with you.
Well, to get us started out, I'm hoping that maybe you can just help our listeners get to know you a little bit better. There are probably a lot of people tuning in today who haven't had the chance to meet you yet. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I think you provide a great summary of my background and the past, at least professional background. The only other piece I'll mention is as a faculty member, my research has always been on trust and the topic of leadership. And so that has been my professional career. On the personal side, I have a wife, Tasha, and 20-year-old son, Davis, daughter, Katie. I'm originally from Iowa. My wife's from Nebraska, but we are feeling very at home here in Utah.
We're so happy to have you. I'm sure the mountains and the scenery is a little bit different, but lots of things to find to make you feel at home. So we're glad that you feel
cultural fit too. You bet.
Excellent. Well, in the introduction, Dean Dirks, we mentioned that you are a first-generation student and a graduate of a couple public universities. And I know this is something that you've talked about a lot as you have started your role here at the Eccles School and at the University of Utah, also a great public university. Tell us a little bit about the role that you feel public universities play in making college accessible to students who might be coming from backgrounds like yours.
You bet. Yeah. So I grew up on a farm in Iowa, graduating class of 25 students. And so it was a very small community. And so going to Iowa State University was just opened my eyes to, a new world of ideas and people, and was just so energizing to me for that. And then the University of Minnesota for graduate school helped me find, a life of purpose and in my profession. And so I think that is the role that public universities play for so many people, no matter where they come from, is really be able to allow people to come from background to open their eyes to a new world and new ideas, and professionally also provide growth opportunities for that. And I think that's where I was really looking to come to a great public university. University of Utah does that for our state as well as people from outside the state.
I love this idea of a graduating class of 25 students and how different that would be coming into a large class of students. In your case, at Iowa State, for our students here at the U and the Eccles School. And certainly, as exciting as that is, I think it can also be a little bit disconcerting, especially for first-generation students who might not have family members or friends or people in their community who can really tell them what it's going to be like and prepare them for that experience. So as we fulfill this great mission that you have outlined of being a public university that really welcomes any student, regardless of their background and circumstance, we also need to make sure that those students can actually succeed when they get here into an environment that is maybe very different from what they have experienced before. So talk to us a little bit about your goals and your ideas as you come to the Eccles School about how our community can really create a culture of belonging for these students and also for those of us who work and teach here.
You bet. No, that's a fantastic question and something I know we need to think very carefully about because the as we think forward, our goals for our students, one is to make sure that they graduate, but even before that, and find a great career outcome. But even before that, really to find a place where they feel they belong, where they develop a sense of confidence in themselves as well as while they're learning. So those are all things that we will be making sure that we focus on every day. To be able to do that on particularly the belonging as students come in for their first year from wherever, whether that's a rural area, whether it's an urban area, whatever identity they come from, we need to make sure that they are able to find people that they can develop relationships with, particularly their students and fellow colleagues. That's such an important part of feeling that sense of belonging is people who you can have interesting conversations with, have fun with, learn from. Particularly people who are different from you, as well as similar to you, and feel that sense of trust. Second, also to have that sense for a faculty member, staff member who you can go to that can be an inspiration for you or a source of support for you. And so, on the people side, that's something that we want to make sure that we do is help every student feel that sense that they are part of our community and that they have people who are in their corner, and particularly when they face challenges, as that first year is often a challenging year for adjustment for students, even the second year, and so be able to develop that sense of belonging and support from the people in the community is really, really key. I was really excited to be part of our welcome day here at our first day at the David Eccles School, and it was a lot of fun to give that sense of energy from our students, but also to really, know that, we as our staff, our faculty are there behind them and really excited to have them here.
That was a really fun day, and it is always so energizing. I love to be on campus and to be around students, and to really feel their energy and their excitement for the school and the opportunities that that they have in front of them, the opportunities that they have to look forward to. I'm curious, Kurt, this is a little bit off script, but since you mentioned your research into the ideas of trust and leadership, building leaders who are trustworthy, building organizations that are, where building organizations where people trust each other and can really be productive because of that. Talk a little bit about how you see your research and your expertise in that area applying to this idea of belonging. What role does trust play as we really try to build a cohesive community at the Eccles School where everyone has a place?
You bet. And by the way, if you want to hear some of the students' voices on that first day, I think we have Instagram post on it where we did some interviews with those students, and it's really fun to hear from them. But in terms of the role of trust and how that fits with them, when we think about earning that trust, it really is around three things, and I think it speaks to this notion. One is a sense of competence and capability that we have the knowledge to be able to and skills and support to really help them be able to succeed at what they want to do. Second is we talk about character, that piece of values that is important to allow students to feel a connection, and that our values are consistent with theirs. And then the last piece, which really speaks directly to this, is caring on it. That often when people want to be able to trust someone, they want to know that we think about them and care about them, and I think that's a really important part of this the set. So all three of them, they know that we can help them get where they want to be and discover what that is, why they're here, that we're going to be there for them no matter what, and that we are taking seriously their lives and care about their welfare.
I think this is so important as we build any kind of relationship. These things can apply to all of us, even outside of the Eccles School, even outside of our jobs, but in every relationship we build, that we can help people get where they want to go. And I know you've talked a lot Dean Dirks about just the college experience and how this is about learning about yourself, discovering your own passions. I think your own path exhibits that, right? You grew up on a small family farm in Iowa and now find yourself in academia. So, really, that process of discovering the possibilities that are there for us, but also this sense of caring that it really matters to us, to you, to our faculty, to our staff, and to our larger community that our students can succeed, that they do succeed. And I think that applies to our alums as well, right? We have a lot of alumni listeners, and certainly that caring doesn't stop on graduation day. We continue to care about what our alums are doing, what they need, and how we can help them. So, talk a little bit about alums, if you would, Dean Dirks, and what their role is in the success of the Eccles School and of our students. How would you like to see them? How would you like to see them get more engaged with the things that are happening here?
You bet. No, it's in fact one of the most fun parts of my last several weeks has been to be able to go and meet many of our alums, have dinners with them or other meetings, and really to hear their story about what it was like to be at the U, why they have that sense of passion about the U. And that is so energizing to hear that being at the U changed, their life in some way, opened again new ideas or doors to them or career opportunities. And that is so fun, so exhilarating for that. And for that, we think about also the sense of responsibility on our end at the U to really be able to carry the flag for them. That being a University of Utah student will always be a part of them, and we want them to always have that sense of pride. Now, they can certainly help. Our alums can really help with that also by being that face of the Eccles School on that and sharing that part about themselves with others, other stories. The other way that they can get involved certainly is by supporting the next generation of students who are coming through now. That may be serving as a mentor. That could be, providing an internship opportunity. Could be providing employment opportunity. Really opening the door for the people who follow them. And so that is certainly super helpful. Of course, some may want to provide a scholarship for students who could not come here otherwise. So there's so many opportunities, large or small, that they can help, and that has been a great part of what I see as the U culture and the David Eccles School of Business culture. It's has been the willingness to support the school and support the people who follow them.
I think you're so right that people are just so proud to be associated with the U and with the Eccles School. It really does become a part of their personalities, almost a part of their identities and a part of their lives. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, right? There are small ways that we can help, large ways we can help. They actually all are big things and they actually all make a big difference. And certainly, this sort of responsibility to pave the way for people coming behind in the same way that, the path was paved for us as we came to continue that legacy, I think is a great motivator and a great thing that our alums can do. I also think, our alums are out in the community working, here in Utah, across the country, even across the world, working and on the cutting edge of what's happening, working in businesses and industries that are really making an impact. And I know that you have identified this idea of business impact as one of your real priorities for the school going forward. One of your priorities is you build your own strategic vision for the next era, the next stage of growth and progress at the Eccles School. Talk to us a little bit about what that means when you think about business impact. What does that mean to you? And how do you see the Eccles School being able to play a role in economic success here and beyond?
You bet. Certainly as the flagship university in the state of Utah, I think we have a responsibility to really help our community thrive, and that's in fact what business schools can do. They can thrive off of what's going on in the community economically, which is one of the reasons why I was excited to be here. We are in a very vibrant economic community here in Utah and Salt Lake City. But in addition, we can also help to drive that success in a number of ways. And I know we have done so in the past and want to think about how we can even do more so in the future. That comes in multiple ways. First, perhaps the most impactful way in many ways is our educational mission and thinking about how we are educating young people here in the state of Utah who are going to go back in the community and change their the businesses that they go into, also create impact for their families economically, which again has all kinds of very positive benefits for themselves, but again also for the community. It also could, however, be with one of our MBA programs where people are working during the daytime and going to school either in the evening or on weekends, and perhaps our executive MBA program, where we can also really help to think about those how those people go back to work, take the ideas that they heard in the classroom and really change their businesses again, make them better places to work, more vibrant places. So one, the educational mission, we do that super well, and I know it has a very big impact on the community through that. The second way is in terms of what our faculty do and the centers we have at the school do. Certainly, the Mariner Eccles Institute on economics has an impact on thinking about economics and how that can change the community. The Gardner Policy Institute also has a big impact in terms of informed decisions and helping make informed decisions. They're in the news all the time. And then our faculty who have, taking their work and whether that's through consulting, whether that's through non-degree executive education, or really providing ideas which help to engage that. And then the last thing, which I forgot to mention, is our Masters of Business Creation program, which is working with entrepreneurial firms. And you can go and get a degree at the same time that your business is also getting new ideas and advice from faculty and experts. And we have a lot of great success stories from that program in terms of how those businesses are thriving because of the program they went through at the U. So these are all different ways where we're doing business impact already and want to think about how to do that even more going forward.
Thank you for the little shout out to informed decision makers, because we will be hearing from a lot of them later in the season. And one thing that really sticks out to me about that these informed decision makers in particular is that a lot of them are in industries or working for organizations that we wouldn't traditionally think of as business, right? Quote unquote. So we're talking about nonprofit medical clinics and, bicycle collectives and nonprofits aimed at ending poverty through community building, right? And there are some sort of more traditional business models and business representatives included as well. But one thing that has really stuck out to me in thinking about these informed decision makers is that everything is sort of business and everything is economic, right? Even if we're talking about a nonprofit that's building community, that then creates a support network for people to be able to prosper economically in a way that they haven't before. Or a medical clinic that provides, free healthcare to anyone, but particularly to people who are uninsured or experiencing financial hardship. If you are healthy and, you're confident about your teeth and you have glasses so you can see, then you can go and get a job and succeed in a way that maybe you couldn't have otherwise. So I think that, right, when we think about a traditional business school, we maybe put it in a box. And if we can think a little bit more broadly about impact, we can see that business is everywhere, that economic impact is everywhere, and we can really be making a difference through creating a business, for example, or through let's see.
Business is definitely for everyone in everyday life, whether that is our faculty who do work in leadership on thinking about how you help other people thrive as a leader. It certainly is also about every organization has to figure out how it's going to finance itself, and that certainly is something that our faculty do and can help think about. So all those issues have some element of it. We even for our undergraduates, I think many undergraduates, will have to go get a job in some organization, and the things that we do in business, in the business school, are not just for people who are going to a Fortune 500 company, but really any type of organization. I think students will benefit from taking at least one of our classes at the David Eccles School of Business.
That's right. The Eccles School is for everyone, right? Not just for business students. In that vein, the business landscape is always changing. I mentioned we'll be talking about AI a little bit later in this season. That, of course, is having and will continue to have really big ramifications on how we do business and who does business. You and I have also talked, Dean Dirks, about this idea of doing good while doing well. So, how do we succeed sort of financially and organizationally while also making a positive societal impact? That's something new that I think our students really care about, that maybe past generations of business students and other students thought less about. So it's always changing, right? The skills that we need, the things that people are interested in are evolving. Talk to us a little bit about how we stay relevant at the Eccles School and how we meet this mission that you talked about before, to really instill trust that we are providing an education that will be useful and that will really future proof students' professional lives.
Great question. I think first we have to stay close to those two groups as a school. One is our students, and really kind of understanding, where they want to go in life, what's passionate to them, and as we talked a little bit about earlier, how we help each student find a path that they want to go on, and that starts with understanding those young people and where they want to be, where they want to go. And then the second piece is also staying close to businesses in the community, making sure that we are tapped into what are the things that they see on the horizon, what are the things that they see now. Are our students prepared for those? And we do that through conversations, whether it's I'm Happy, whether it's our career success center, whether it's our faculty, et cetera. Really staying close to business to make sure we do that, and then our faculty being prepared to take their expertise, often which is on the cutting edge, and be able to make sure that happens in the classroom. And then lastly, the piece which I think we do really well and want to do more of is make sure our students get experience during their time here, whether that's if they're an undergraduate, the 4 years here, whether they are on a project working at a company, whether they are getting an internship, many different things like that, which I think really allows those students to go in job ready and be ready to roll when they get in there to be successful. And so I think the preparation that we provide, as well as again staying close to people, to listening where they want to go and where we need them to be prepared at with businesses.
Well, let me pull two threads together here, two things that we've talked about. One, your academic research and your expertise in the areas of trust and values based leadership. And then this thread of emerging technology. And I said thread, not threat, just to be clear. But right, we're talking about AI, for example, and one of the big discussions around AI and other emerging technology is this idea of ethical and responsible use. So, how do we take these new things and use them in a way that is fair and equitable and doesn't make existing problems bigger and doesn't create new problems that we haven't even thought about? So, as we think about these two things, your expertise in trust and building trust and leading from a value proposition, this idea of how do we approach new technology like AI from an ethical perspective, how do these apply to each other? And then how do they apply to what we're teaching students and the way that we're teaching students here at the Eccles School?
You bet. And this is something the entire university is thinking about. We have a responsible AI initiative at the U, which is thinking about this, not just at the business school, but across the entire university. And so it's something that we are a part of, our faculty are part of, and thinking about that. On the other side of it is certainly thinking about helping our students understand, their values, and when those values get challenged, how do they respond to them? Certainly, something important about being a leader in whatever way we think about that term is really understanding your responsibility in in society, in business, to try to make the world better, and how that applies, day to day life. And so that's certainly one of the areas where I hope we can get each of our students to think about that, their role as a leader in society, and making the world better, and how that is steered by their values and their purpose.
And again, this idea that everything is business, right? We're not just learning to crunch numbers. We're not just learning to analyze data, but we're really thinking about what's important to me. How can I bring that to an organization? How can I seek out organizations that align with that? And then how can I make a positive difference? So the interconnection really continues.
Very powerful. No, there is no doubt that if we help our students on along all those faces, all those facets, again, the values, the quantitative economic skills that they have, and the business mindset, I think we're going to serve them well for their life and career.
Well, Dean Dirks, you've mentioned in the few months that you've been with us that you really believe the Eccles School is on the cusp of some exciting growth and progress, that we really could be a premier educational destination here in our region and even throughout the country. Talk to me about the strengths that you see that we have and how you're looking to build on those going forward to drive us towards this goal.
Yeah, great question. In fact, one of the reasons which I was excited to come to the University of Utah is we are a place on the rise. We're on the ascent. The and Very happy that President Randall is leading the university, has ambitious goals for us, and in fact had positioned the business school well at the same time. So I think we are well positioned to do this. We have a number of strengths which are what I would think about things that we do well already, which also meet the future of business, and which are also strengths of the community. And these are areas where I think we could double down on to really win and to be, not only the best in the Mountain West, but also one of the best in the country. So three of these areas, which I've gotten a sense for, are what we do on that, and then there's one how we do it. In terms of the what, one of the areas I think we have amazing strength in, which fits off our region also, is the economic and quantitative analysis side of it. We have strength both in our faculty, this area, as well as a number of institutes and centers, the Mariner Eccles Institute, as well as, again, the Gardner Policy Institute, as well as some others on that. And we do lots of things to train our students in this area. A second strength is on the entrepreneurial and enterprising nature of the university and what we do for students. Again, strengthen our faculty on this, as well as the Lassonde Center, and the region is a very entrepreneurial and something that we can build on. And then the third area that I think we have interest and strength in, that we can build on, passion of mine, is around this notion of helping our students develop as leaders of tomorrow, as well as and the role of values in that. And again, areas of strength in our faculty, as well as the Goff Leadership Institute. And as we think about putting all those three things together, again, I think creates, as I mentioned before, a student who is going to be well served in their life and in career. As you bring a student who has strong values, and a leader who is able to understand and apply the quantitative and economic analysis, and who is enterprising and entrepreneurial, is a very powerful combination. The other strength that we have is not only what we do, but how we do it. And I think one of the most amazing things that I've seen about the U and the David Eccles School of Business is how we not only do in the classroom with our students, but also the experiential and hands-on learning. So if a student is learning about how to do financial analysis in the classroom, they're also perhaps in the student investment fund actually managing a fund to be able to apply that, or being able to do it in the Sorensen Impact Center to analyze investments. Also getting opportunities in almost any area that you want, whether that is in the marketing area, whether that is in developing as a leader. We have the full range, as well as living learning centers where you are living in a community where you're also learning on all these things. So it is an amazing set of assets that we have that we can really build on.
I think it is always so refreshing to have someone come from outside, right? An outside set of eyes to really be able to remind us. Maybe those of us who have been here for a while, you start to be a little bit blind to the exciting things that are going on. You get a little bogged down in the day to day. And so great to be reminded of just the really great things that we have to offer students and our community. I would remind all our listeners we have a lot of great past episodes that touch on a lot of these things, including a great episode with Jim Sorensen talking about this idea of doing good while doing well and how we can make positive social impact through a business model. We've talked to Paul Brown from the Masters of Business Creation program and lots of students involved over at Lassonde, as well as some of our Goff Strategic Leadership Center graduates as well. So there really is just a lot happening as you have talked about and felt this passion for the Eccles School, for the University of Utah, coming from the students and alums that you've met so far. What is most exciting to you about being part of this community now?
Well, it's really energizing to be here on campus for the first day and see our students. But the other piece that's been so energizing are just getting a sense of as we talked about before, the pride and passion of our alumni and the community in the U. It was, in fact, when I was going through the interview process, one of our faculty members had what I thought was a remarkable point on this. He said, "Do you remember, Kurt, that this is not your place, this is their place." And what he meant by that was this is a place where our alumni and our community really embrace and feel that sense of passion and pride, and we are stewards of that. And again, as I've been talking to people, I feel that on it, and we see it right with our all the people who have invested in the school, who feel that passion in it. Spence Eccles, I think it's his 90th birthday, maybe this week even, and to see him as an inspiration, an example of a person who carries that spirit with us, and one of many people who we can go to. So I think and look to for both not only our past but also our future of what it means to be a David Eccles School alumni and David Eccles School student. So I'm excited to be here, what we've done in the past, but also what our future looks like.
And a great reminder for all of us that this is, um, to our alums, this is your school, this is your home always. To our students, this is where you belong, and we all have a responsibility to just make it a great place and to help us grow, to help it grow. And as we do that, it benefits all of us, right? No one loses as the school continues to progress and to grow and to innovate. It really helps all of us and helps our community as well. Well, Kurt, we've talked a little bit about the first day of school and how fun and energizing that was. We're still new in the school year. So, as you think about the students who are just starting this journey of self discovery, of developing their values, becoming doers, as we say here at the Eccles School, preparing to be leaders, what is a piece of advice that you would give to them, or a piece of advice that you wish you had as you were starting your own college journey?
Well, one of the most wonderful parts about being a university student is that self-discovery. You certainly learning a lot about business, but equally important, learning a lot about yourselves and new paths. So go out and try something new this semester. Something that meet a new group of people, go to try a new experience at the U, something that you may not have done before, and perhaps you'll get a surprise that maybe becomes your future.
A great piece of advice for all of us. I think we all benefit from trying something new, getting outside of our comfort zone and seeing what else is out there. Dean Dirks, thank you so much for joining us here today and helping us get to know you a little bit better.
Oh, thank you so much. Again, looking forward to all of you out there in the audience getting to know you, getting to meet you, and hearing about your story about the school.
And thank you for tuning in to this new season of the Eccles Business Buzz podcast. We'll be releasing new episodes every other Thursday, and there are so many great conversations ahead. So be sure to subscribe to Eccles Business Buzz wherever you listen to podcasts and invite a friend or a fellow alum to listen along with you. You can also follow us on Instagram at Eccles Alumni for all the latest news from your Eccles Alumni Network. Until next time. Eccles Business Buzz is a production of the David Eccles School of Business and is produced by University FM.